So, who did you lose your virginity to? And was that person there for you when you needed them the most? Imagine this. You're in the hospital, exhausted, holding your newborn, and the man who's supposed to be there? He's off naming someone else's baby. Not his baby, just some random baby. While you're alone. And worse, 2 days later, you discover another thing truly awful. This Reddit story that we're diving in today got it all, folks. Drama, betrayal, a roller coaster of emotions, and, surprisingly, a solid ending and walking away. So put on your monocle, my fellow armchair philosopher, and we shall unpack all of this together. Buckle up, friends. This is gonna be a ride. It is confession time. Here is our OP's damnation. So I had a baby 2 days ago. I didn't know if I was ready, but since she's been here, she has been my whole world. I met a man about 2 years ago, and I lost my virginity to him when I was 20. I'm now 22, and I've spent 2 years trying to chase a relationship with a guy that wants to have options when it comes to females, and has multiple females believing he only wants them, like he did with me. I recently found out I have chlamydia, and he's the only one I was doing things with, so I got it from him. I had to be induced unexpectedly, and it's only been about a week since I was told I had it. I found out after the baby that his other baby mama had the same thing not long before. He was not there for our daughter's birth after he said he would be. He was just at the birth of another girl's baby that wasn't even his, and he named that baby. After 2 years of being stepped on and always going back, I finally let go. I've chosen to be free. I know one day somebody will love me the way I deserve. There are 2 more edits. They're OP's reflections and an update about the baby. I will deliver it to you guys later. Right now, we have a lot to unpack already. And I think you guys gotta agree with me that this guy is a certified asshole. If there is a fuckboy major, this guy would surely have a PhD. Dr. Motherfucker, the danger of all maiden. And unfortunately, our OP got caught up in this mess. But we gotta admit, this girl is strong. Despite all these events slamming into her in just a short span of a few weeks. Not just a simple heartbreak, that's a storm. But she weathered it all. Alone. Yeah, it took time. Yeah, it took pain. And before you roll your eyes and go, she stayed for 2 years, duh. Look, it's not that simple, especially when it's your first love. Well, first love is a tricky beast after all. So, why did we keep going back? Why do so many of us keep chasing someone who's clearly holding the steering wheel but driving us straight into an emotional cliff? First love. Your first everything. That stuff just hits different. It's like trying sugar for the first time. Everything seems rosy, and butterflies are everywhere. You don't know how bad it's gonna be, but your brain lights up like Christmas. That oxytocin kind of bond from your first sex? With the one we trust the most at that time? We're hooked like crazy, and acting like addicts. Nothing rational. And then there's the classic of, I've already invested so much already. You've poured a whole year of time, energy, tears, and questionable late-night texts into this. If you walk away now, the save file from the game you've been grinding for months will be deleted, and there will be no turning back now. So let's spend another year, maybe 2. Then maybe your sincerity will make them change, right? Welp, big surprise. They won't. These types of people, they rarely change. And you are the only one in for a world of hurt. If he messes up, he just apologizes and promises to do better. There's a sweet phase, maybe even flowers, here and there. Then, boom. Another betrayal. The script always plays out like this. Rinse and repeat. This game of trauma bonding is what these master jerks like to play the most. So here's the dynamic. This guy got options, like a whole roster with backup dancers and alternate endings, like a walking Tinder profile with loyalty set to airplane mode. Meanwhile, she's playing a single-player mode game, and she's all in on him. The young heart goes all in with their beautiful commitment. No backup plan, no bench warmers. He comes and he goes, and our girl just sits there, vibes, and waits for the phone with her heart broken. The truth is, when one person has options and the other only has hope, that's not a love story. That's a power imbalance. Love isn't always about love only, but also power. The power to unlock the chaos in other people's hearts, you know? The sad part is, sometimes we confuse that chaos for passion. Ooh, he makes my heart race. That's love. Sorry, girl. That's not the anticipation of love, that's anxiety. And at some point, you trying so hard is not even about them or what they do anymore. You're trying to win back the version of yourself that you lost in the mess. Your beautiful, innocent self. Now, if we're being real for a second, who do you think gets to call the shots in this kind of relationship? One's holding the steering wheel, do whatever they want. And the other's just desperately holding on to something, hoping they don't crash. That's the perfect recipe for a disaster. But don't worry, because after playing this rigged game for so long, the real glow-up is bound to start. And yeah, we're getting there. Soon. She says, "I've finally let go. I've chosen to be free. I know one day somebody will love me the way I deserve." Nothing loud, nothing flashy. But it hits harder than any breakup anthem. Because letting go is not about giving up, but it's about choosing yourself instead. That's saying, you know what? I'm done auditioning for a role in someone else's chaos. And listen, when a person says they've chosen to be free, that's the first time in this whole story where she's not reacting. She's creating space for herself. It might have taken 2 years, a heartbreak, a hospital bed, and a dude who couldn't even show up for his baby. But she made it, to the part where she realizes she doesn't need to be chosen. She is the one who gets to choose. It's like flipping a switch, cue the sparkly visuals, dramatic lighting, plus 100 self-worth unlocked, and maybe with a halo of pure self-respect glowing over her head. And that, my friend, is where everything changes. Love is never the problem. Loving someone is actually a beautiful thing. But staying in a relationship where you're slowly falling apart, get more cracks and fall apart piece by piece at a time, that's a different story. I know that I'm being preachy, but love isn't supposed to be a solo mission like that. If you're the only one showing up, building the house, buying the groceries, and also emotionally babysitting the other person, you're not in love. You're in a prison with something weirdly shaped like love. This is OP Edits. Let's wrap this up with her word. Edit 1. At the time, obviously I was young and naive, which I can't say I still slightly am. I am young, and even for the world we live in today, my life started late. I rushed into something that I knew nothing about and didn't fully see the picture. I went based off a lot of words and chose to forgive actions more times than I should have. Clearly, I know I messed up. I don't regret my baby though, and I wouldn't have ever changed having her. I did mess up, and I didn't give my child a dad she deserves, but I'll be everything I can be for her, even if I can't replace the love of a father. Edit 2. For anybody that was concerned, she did come out completely healthy. I've had some call me a liar, and some tell me I was a dumbass. And although the liar part being false, I will agree I was a dumbass. My dumbass choices gave me something though that made it all worth it. I'd go through it all again if it meant I'd have my baby in my life. She gave my life a purpose that I never thought I'd have. She is my everything. And she replaced all that pain I had with a happiness that I haven't had in a very long time. That's the end, folks. And I have to say, it's beautiful. Don't you agree? Though I hope she would be a little less harsh on herself. And she would get that jerk doctor ripped with the child support too. And hey, have you been there? Had to let go of someone you loved deeply? Not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally started loving yourself a little more. What was the moment that made you wake up? Drop your story in the comments and share with us. And if this video hits somewhere real, go ahead and hit like, maybe subscribe, and maybe share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you. And if you ever want to see me break down another post like this, just send me the link. I've got time. And tea. Sounds very British, huh?